That's okay.
Anyway, you want to just state your name and what you're doing here?
Okay,
first off?
my first name is Mars, my last name's Aubrey, and I started an event on Facebook to show support for the legalization of storefront dispensaries of marijuana in St. John. So that's why everybody's here today.
Okay. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to be legalized in 2017, like in about a few months from now. So
Yeah. So despite the plans in action that are already in, this is basically just a support for the laws. So this is just to show that everybody in St. John and the surrounding areas are ready for these changes to happen, are really, really eager for them to happen as soon as they can, because as of right now, it's kind of difficult to get their medicine and whatnot. So
I think there might be a possibility the government's going to back out on their promises and not fulfill what they promised to do.
it's always a possibility.
Because
yeah.
recently Trudeau promised to have the reform. I'm not too familiar with what the reform details were, but it was a promise and it was broken. And this one seems to be a big election issue. I know the Conservatives campaigned against it.
Yeah.
So is there a fear at all maybe that he might...
There's always a fear that the government will promise things and not come through with them. There's always that possibility, but we're really, really sticking it out for Trudeau, and we hope that he does the right thing.
Okay, because I know recently in Halifax they had, I think it was Auntie's was the store it was called,
Yeah.
and they showed in the media she was being arrested. It was just a little old lady going back in a paddy wagon, and I'm
It's
thinking
unfortunate.
she's going to get a criminal record just because she was trying to open a business,
Yeah.
and it's different than being on one of these street corners.
Yeah.
And I know people behind the camera can't see me pointing, so
It's true.
like I said, it's my first time doing anything
It's
like
all
this.
good. It's all good.
But yeah, a little old lady's going to get a criminal record over the fact that she was trying to operate a business. I understand there's some legal legalities, but
Yeah,
do you
and
think it was necessary for them to raid what they did, even though they were open for months?
Okay, so that is my argument. They were illegal, and that was that. The raids had to happen legally, but the dispensaries were open for months, and the police force did state that they had bigger fish to fry before they went ahead and did that. So, I mean, with all the things going on in St. John, I really thought that would be the least of their concerns, but
True.
again,
There's been a
people get
crack
proven
cocaine
wrong all the
epidemic
time,
since
yeah.
2009, and I don't see them raiding too many shacks, but
Yeah, exactly.
a little biased with what I'm trying to do here.
It's okay to be biased.
But
especially when
is it the system is creating something in order to make it illegal? Like, it almost seems like the system's not supporting them to be legitimate.
It does seem the system is definitely broken, and that's why we're here. We're trying to just give it a go. We're trying to show people that we're ready to fix the system and make things more accessible and able to be.
So are you aware that 1 in 10 Canadians have a criminal record, and the majority of those offenses are dealing with drugs, particularly with marijuana, and that if it was legalized, the crime rates would not only go down, but the percentage of people would go down that would have records?
Absolutely, the criminal offenses would definitely go down if marijuana was fully legalized recreationally and medicinally. But yeah, I am aware of that, and that's why we're here. It's not right to criminalize marijuana at all.
So can you confirm how many people died from overdose of marijuana?
I think I actually looked this up, and I believe there was one, and that was the only medical journal ever in the world. I believe there was only one. Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, given the fact that we've known about all these studies since the 70s, I think it's kind of, I believe the word's redundant, that 40 years later we're still having the same rallies we had 40 years prior.
You know what? Absolutely. I definitely agree with you. I looked up a lot of different rallies before I hosted this one just to see usually what they're like. And yeah, no, we've been doing these since the 70s and the 80s, and we're finally being heard. But again, hopefully this will be the last one that we have to have.
Two last questions before I let you go. Okay. What would you say to people who are against these rallies and against legalization, period, even for medical?
You know what? What I have to say to them is don't hate, educate yourself, because if you did sit down and maybe put your bias aside and looked at the facts, then you would realize that you're mad about nothing. I hate to be blunt,
I see them starting to get rallied up. You should go there. But one last thing, you think there's going to be a beginning of more political rallies, or is this just a one-off to support?
This is one-off to support the Canadian laws in particular, but I definitely, other parts of the world, I'm sure there's more rallies to come.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.